Ben, give her some money. It's easier.
Zelensky finally accepts the ride he was offered and gets the ammo too. At the start of Russia's war in Ukraine, Zelensky turned down an American offer to evacuate him from Kiev. I need ammunition, not a ride, Zelensky told the U.S. 10 months later, he got both. When Zelensky touched down outside Washington in a U.S. military plane Wednesday, his arrival capped a 10-day sprint by American and Ukrainian officials to arrange a risky wartime visit meant to rally support for Ukraine's ongoing resistance to Russia's invasion. Once again, stressing how risky his visit is. He arrived on a United States military plane. I know the media tells you that Putin's a crazy imperialist trying to revive the Soviet Union, but in reality, he's a very rational actor on the world stage. Do you really think he's going to blow up United States military aircraft to assassinate Zelensky, who himself is a puppet and really is meaningless? No, this is not a risky mission for him to fly to the United States. His wife was shopping when he's doing all this stuff. They spent a bunch of money in London. This is a joke. Just ahead of Zelensky's arrival, the Biden administration announced it is sending nearly $2 billion in additional security assistance to Ukraine, including a sophisticated new Patriot air defense system that Zelensky has been requesting for months. In weighing a visit, Zelensky suggested to advisors he did not want to travel to Washington had there not been significant development in the bilateral relationship with the United States, according to a source familiar with the matter. Zelensky viewed the U.S. decision to send Patriot missile defense system to Ukraine as a major shift in the relationship between the two allies. So Biden is so weak that even our own puppets are saying are setting the terms of the meeting, according to CNN. That's pretty pathetic. Yet, standing alongside Biden, he was frank that he did not view the single Patriot system as enough. We would like to get more Patriots, he told Biden. I am sorry, but we are in war. To be honest, I almost feel a little bit bad for him. Imagine being caught between the U.S. empire and literal Nazis and the Russian army. Like, two of them are your supposed allies, and either of them would gladly kill you. The Russians are probably less likely to kill him than the Nazis or the United States. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. In the long run, I mean. Of course, the United States is not going to kill Zelensky now, but down the line? A united front in one of the world's most complicated relationships. Speaking later to Congress, Zelensky was again upfront that he did not believe the American support was enough. Is it enough? Honestly, not really, he said of the artillery that the U.S. has provided so far. Zelensky's candid request for more Patriots and Biden's lighthearted response amounted to a window into one of the world's most complicated relationships. Wow, it's so complicated. On the surface, Biden and Zelensky have maintained a stalwart partnership, and Zelensky was effusive in his praise of Biden as he went from the Oval Office to the East Room on Capitol Hill. They are not partners, okay? The United States is the empire. Ukraine is the client state. That's the extent of the relationship. Yet it doesn't take much to see the tensions just beneath the surface. Zelensky has consistently agitated for additional U.S. support despite the tens of billions of dollars in military assistance that Biden has directed to his country. This hasn't always sat well with Biden or his team, but as he has with a host of other foreign leaders, Biden appeared intent Wednesday on translating physical proximity into a better understanding of his counterpart. Of course, creepy Joe Biden would translate physical proximity to any better understanding of anyone. It is all about looking someone in the eye. I mean, seriously, Jack. I don't think there's any substitute for sitting down face to face with a friend or foe and looking them in the eye. Come on, man, he said. I might have added a few words to that quote. A visit that symbolizes a new phase in the war. Biden invited Zelensky to Washington this week because he believes the war in Ukraine is entering a new phase, officials said ahead of the visit. As winter sets in and Russia continues targeting civilian infrastructure, the moment seemed ripe for Zelensky to make a dramatic public appeal for continued international support. Russia continues targeting civilian infrastructure. What Russia's been doing lately is actually ramping up the tensions of their war, and they're actually now starting to target infrastructure. It's funny how CNN will say that about Russia as if it's this bad thing, this massive shift in the war to be more aggressive, right? To be war more warlike. In reality, that's like what the United States does on day one of its conflicts. That's what NATO does day one on its conflicts. It fucking bombs power plants, bridges, railways, all things that are traditionally considered civilian infrastructure, right? We do that on day one. Russia waited like a year to do it. Why? Because maybe, perhaps, they may be a more restrained force than you are being told. Yet the new phase isn't only on the battlefield. Around the world, leaders are confronting the bitter fallout of Russia's invasion. Higher energy and food prices, in part generated by tough sanctions on Moscow, have caused trouble for politicians in Europe and the United States. So, the news phase in the war, right? We're actually taking on damage. We're finally realizing how damaged we are from all these sanctions on Russia and also blowing up Nord Stream 1 and 2. That didn't help. In Washington, Republicans poised to take control of Congress have made clear they won't rubber stamp each of Biden's requests for Ukraine assistance, though fears funding will drive completely appear unfounded. Congress is on the verge of approving almost $50 billion in additional security and economic assistance. Speaking to lawmakers, Zelensky repeatedly refers to members of both parties seeking to frame the cause as a bipartisan one. Still, some Republicans refuse to attend Zelensky's address to Congress, a protest of what they claim are unrestrained dollars heading out of the U.S. If it wasn't against that backdrop, Biden insisted U.S. support would continue for months. He said it was important for the American people and for the world to hear directly from you, Mr. President, about Ukraine's fight and the need to continue to stand together through 2023. Now this last point is this is the real reason why Zelensky came to the United States. Of course, he's come to beg for more money because everyone wants to launder more money, you know. Politicians like their wheels greased. The military-industrial complex likes their contracts, you know. Generals like their toys. Sam Bankman-Fried's like to, you know, take in money and maybe make a couple of donations here and there. It's a dirty, dirty, dirty machine. And we are risking the annihilation of the entire human species so a few thousand people can make profits. We're all risking like the Terminator 2 Skynet destruction of humanity, right? Atomic bombs going off everywhere and we're all dying. So a couple thousand people can make profits. So neocons can play geopolitical chess and balkanize Russia. And then we can go and fight China and use Taiwan as an excuse to go and fight China. Jesus Christ.